Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're starting with a story that's making waves in international relations. European leaders are gathering at the Munich Security Conference to discuss pressing global issues, including the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the future of NATO. Tensions between Europe and the U.S. have been running high, particularly since President Donald Trump's return to the White House in 2025. Trump has been critical of European countries for not sharing enough of the burden on common defense, and his recent threat to annex Greenland has sparked outrage among European nations. Despite these challenges, European leaders are emphasizing their commitment to strengthening NATO and defending their security commitments. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and French President Emmanuel Macron are scheduled to address the conference, along with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is seen as a more conciliatory figure after last year's controversy surrounding Vice President J.D. Vance's remarks on European policies. The conference will also feature discussions on Russia's war against Ukraine, which is set to enter its fifth year in February. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to speak, and Western allies have pledged significant financial support for Ukraine, with Britain announcing that $44 billion has been committed so far. As the Munich Security Conference gets underway, it's clear that the relationships between Europe, the US, and other global players will be under intense scrutiny. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates throughout the day. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into a significant development in international politics as Bangladesh has concluded its landmark general election. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party, led by Tarique Rahman, has emerged victorious, paving the way for Rahman to form the next government. This election comes on the heels of the 2024 uprising that led to the removal of former leader Sheikh Hasina, whose party was barred from participating in the vote. The results mark a new chapter in Bangladeshi politics, with Jamaat-e-Islami, led by Shafiqur Rahman, conceding defeat and pledging constructive opposition. The election has been closely watched globally, given Bangladesh's history of authoritarian rule and the significant role the 2024 Gen Z uprising played in shaping the country's political landscape. As experts analyze the implications of this election, there's a sense that Bangladesh is poised for a new era of political change. Rudabeh Shahid, an Atlantic Council non-resident senior fellow on South Asia, notes that Dhaka seems ready for a reset, with citizens hoping for improved governance and economic stability. The international community will be watching closely as Tarique Rahman forms his government and begins to address the country's challenges. With Bangladesh being a key player in regional politics, the outcome of this election could have far-reaching implications for the global South. As we continue to monitor developments in Bangladesh, it's clear that this election marks a critical juncture in the country's history. The people of Bangladesh are looking towards a brighter future, and the international community is eager to see how the new government will navigate the complexities of governance and diplomacy. Welcome back to Concrete Block. As we wrap up today's show, we're taking a look at a significant development in international politics. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party, led by Tarique Rahman, has claimed victory in the country's first election since the 2024 uprising. This news comes after a period of unrest and democratic backsliding in Bangladesh, and many are watching to see how this new government will address the concerns of its citizens. According to reports, the election was held amidst tight security and concerns about the integrity of the voting process. Despite these challenges, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party has emerged as the apparent winner, with Tarique Rahman poised to take on a leadership role in the country. It's worth noting that the BNP has been associated with corruption and dynastic politics in the past, which has led some to question whether this new government will truly represent the interests of the Bangladeshi people. However, others argue that the party has an opportunity to reform and make a positive impact on the country. As we consider this development, it's also important to remember the context of the 2024 uprising, which was driven by student-led protests and demands for democratic reform. The outcome of this election will likely have significant implications for the future of democracy in Bangladesh, and it will be important to watch how the new government responds to the concerns of its citizens. The international community is also watching this situation closely, with some countries offering congratulations to the BNP on their apparent victory. However, others are taking a more cautious approach, waiting to see how the new government will govern before offering their full support. As we conclude our coverage of this story, it's clear that the situation in Bangladesh is complex and multifaceted. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments in the country and providing updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.